Okay, this is the third video in the series of 3 tutorials. In this video, I just want to show how you can make changes to existing registers, particularly registers that are using the linked preset approach. So for that purpose, I'd like to use a default program, in this case register 36, which is the rhythm register, and to work on it I will quickly transfer it to the empty register 50, and I do that by using the utility which I've shown in a previous video. I want to move from 36 to my empty set 50. Done. Now I'm going to go, or jump, in this case using the shorthand approach, to set 50. Check the menu if you don't know how to do that and would like to. Otherwise, you just go step by step from 36 to 50. Here we see a variety of registers for different kinds of rhythms. I'd like to just start with the tango and make some basic changes and save. Hopefully you can generalize from this example to other kinds of changes you'd like to make. I enter into the treble menu, which is where I typically like to start because it tells me what they've been using. Alright, first menu, submenu option tells me that they are using Bandoneon Reads. Incidentally, you can change the read type for any footage that you want, but I'm not going to do that here since Bandoneon is a pretty good choice for a tango Bandoneon read. And they're using the lowest footage, 16 foot, and then the one middle read. Everything looks fine. I'm not going to change the acoustic treble voices at all. You could play with them and see what impact it has, but I'm not interested in those right now. The first menu item of interest is what they have put into the bass link. Notice there's no acoustic accordion bass at all, which would be here. Bass register 1 through 7 would be your typical choice. Instead, they're using an orchestra bass, specifically the string bass or acoustic bass. Let's change that to the rubber bass. If I do that, I can immediately save if I want to by using the menu right button, holding. It tells me it's saving the treble changes, right, and it's done. But I'm concerned about the orchestra treble before I change that. However, I'll change the chord length, and let's put on an acoustic guitar. I can save this later, which I will do. Going back to the orchestra link, they're using violin. I'd like to use, let's say, piano plus slow strings. By the way, they're setting it up so that the first voice you use is bandoneon, and if you use the master bar, you will be switching to solo violin. I'll probably change that as well. So let's start by using a solo orchestra voice, which means that's what you see the first time you open it up. First time you press register 1 would be a solo voice, but I want to change that from violin to piano. Where is the piano? While I'm scrolling through this again, here's an important point. There are only 26 voices that you can choose from at any given time, unless you substitute another voice for the existing ones in these places that I call storage boxes. So scrolling through here, you'll actually see some voices that you probably don't care about for this particular set. In my case, that would be Highland and Zambonia, or whatever it's called. And those would be the quickest ones for me to decide to replace. But we already have a piano voice, acoustic piano somewhere here. I'm going to select that. And if I wanted to save everything I've done, I just press the menu right and execute. And now the treble changes have been saved. But let's say that I want to do more with that acoustic piano. So I am going to go to the Orchestra, Edit, menu, go deeper, and it shows me that the patch is piano. You can choose anything. I could replace the acoustic piano with the octave piano. I could go with something that you don't normally use, with choir Oz. The point is, if I select anything other than acoustic piano, then that will be replacing the new voice with the old acoustic piano, and any register that uses that box will now be changed as well. But I'm going to stay for now with the acoustic piano, and let's see if there's anything that needs to be changed. Octave 0 is okay. Volume of standard is probably okay. Reverb, I like 40, wouldn't change that. Chorus, okay. Let's see, there is no second timbre or second voice, just a straight piano. Sometimes it's nice to add something to that, such as perhaps the chorus Oz, or maybe we'll just go with slow strings. Let's try slow strings. So what I'm doing now is adding slow strings on top of the acoustic piano. Back out using the exit button and go to the parameters. This shows me the volume. If I want to change that, for example, go up to +10, I can do so. Octave, pretty good. Sometimes I lower it, sometimes not. Everything else looks okay. So what I am doing is adding a second voice to the piano. So when you play it, you will hear the piano, but you will also hear the strings, which you can regulate by your bellows separately from the piano voice. Now I need to save. I'll do an automatic save to save this change in the orchestra voice. And it is done. So what I have done is to change what is in box 13A from straight piano to piano plus strings. Anytime I pick piano plus strings as my option, acoustic piano, even though it says solo, it is actually now piano plus strings. So you need to remember that. Or secondarily, what you can do instead is to go to a voice you don't want to use. Let's say it's a Zambonia. I want to first select that the way I do it in the treble edit menu. Then I'll back out, go to the orchestra edit. It shows me that I've selected the Zambonia, but I want to change that. This time I'm going to instead use something different. And a lot of times I'll just experiment to see what sounds the best. But this time I will pick trombone, which I already have as a possibility. You may want to remember where things are or just scroll as I do. So that's going to be another trombone. However, I'm going to layer that with twin trumpets which will give a really full sound. I like the volume. I don't like this, so I will decrease the reverb to, let's say, 80, which is still quite a lot for me. But now I want to go to the patch, to the timbre, add a new timbre, which will be the twin trumpets. So I've selected twin trumpets as the second voice. The volume I'll keep standard so it fairly well matches the trombone. The octave is okay. I'd like to make the sound even richer, so I'm going to move that sound, shift it to the bass side so that you'll hear the twin trumpets out of the bass side and the trombone out of the treble. Not at all necessary to do that, but if you want to experiment, that's something that you can do. I like the settings, so I need to be in the Orchestra edit in order to do an automatic save of those changes. So this shows me that I'm changing what is in storage box 7B. I'm replacing this Zambona with, in this case, a trombone layered with twin trumpets. Saving, it's done. Now if I go back to the treble edit one more time, what it should show me now is that 7B contains trombone, and I know it contains trombone plus twin trumpets layered. So I can select this for any register I want. In this case, I've selected it for register 1. Notice that I have another register that says trombone, but this is likely to just be the plain old trombone. Let's see, it says trombone, and it's at the high reverb, which I'd probably change. Is there a layer? No. So that's straight trombone, and what I wanted to be able to do is to select either the straight trombone, which is 1A, or in 7B, trombone plus strings. To save all these settings, I press menu right, and I'm saving these changes to treble 1. So from now on, in treble 1, when I open it up, I will have the rubber bass, trombone plus strings, trombone plus twin trumpet, and the acoustic guitar chord. I will save it, and that's done. And I didn't want to do one more save, which will be, in this case, saving the entire set. So one way to do it is just go up here, click on set 50. All the changes I've made will be preserved in set 50. And that's done. So the next time I open up this set, or turn on the Roland and go to the set, the changes will be preserved. As I mentioned in the prior discussion, prior video, I probably would also want to come in and change the reverb, which is now on plate, and I don't want that, so that's easy to change, just like that. And then I'd again go back and save all of the set changes. So that's it, a very quick basic review of how some of the changes can be made.